Hello and welcome back to the Azure DevOps course. In this lesson, we'll explain the conditioning in the YAML pipelines. I have made a pipeline to demonstrate how to use the conditioning in the YAML pipelines. So let's start. Here I am defining two variables, run tests and environment. And we have stages. The first stage is called the compile time stage. We have two types of conditions in the YAML pipelines. We have a compile time conditions using the compile time expressions, and we have a runtime conditions using the conditions key. So I will start first with the compile time condition. To make a compile time condition, we use the compile time format, the $sign and the double curly brackets, and write if keyword, and inside if we use functions to check if this function true or false. So now I used if with equal function to check if the variable run test equal true. It equals true. So if it is equal true, then what is under this function will be substituted, will exist with us. So we can enable or disable scripts in the compile time using this compile time if condition. But don't forget to make it in a list. The if condition is made in a list, and under it the list of the scripts. And also we can make if and else in the compile time conditioning. So here I made an if condition with the variable environment equal prod, and under it I used else if keyword. So if the if condition is false, it go to the else if block to see if the condition here in the else if is true. If the else if block is false, then we go to the else block. So here in this example, the if condition is false, the else if is false, but the else is true. So all these scripts will be removed completely during the compile time. During the compile time, these blocks will remove completely, and only the else block with this script will exist because we are using conditioning at the compile time. So we can use the if and the else if and else as we are using a programming language. So that's why Azure DevOps YAML pipeline is very brilliant. You can optimize your work with the if conditions and looping and a lot of features that we will see in the next lecture. So we can use if and else if and else. So that is for the compile time. We can also use conditioning in the runtime. So I made also a stage here for the runtime, for the runtime conditioning demo. But before the runtime stage, I write a script here with exit command. This exit command will make this script give us error. So this stage will be failed. All this stage will be failed because of this script. To define a runtime condition, we can make it in the stage scope or the job scope here, or also the script scope. So here I make a condition in the stage scope. To make a condition in the stage scope, you write the condition keyword in the stage and then write your condition. So here I'm using a function. This function is a status function. This is the fourth type of functions in Azure DevOps. A status function is based on the previous stages or the previous jobs. So here the succeeded or failed function returns true if the previous stages succeeded or failed. So here this stage will run if the previous stage is succeeded or failed. Here our previous stage is failed. So with this condition, the runtime stage should work, because this condition make it work even if the previous stage is failed. This succeeded or failed will give us true. So this condition will be true. So it will continue even if the stage 1 failed. So we are using here a runtime condition. This function will be executed in the runtime. And here we are using two jobs. Here in this first job, I'm setting an variable in the runtime. Its name is should deploy variable. I'm setting it in the runtime and making it output and naming the script as set flag. So here I'm setting variable called should deploy in the runtime and defining it as output so we can use it in another job. So and here in another job we are using this output variable. So here in the condition we are using a runtime condition for the job, and here in the equal function we check if this output variable equal true. So if you remember, when accessing an output variable from another stage, we use stage dependencies here first, then the stage name, then dot the job name. But here it is an output variable between jobs, not between stages. So we write only dependencies dot the job name. There is no stage name here. This is the other job name dot output square brackets the script name and the variable name, and end it with the square bracket. That is the syntax to access an output variable between jobs. So here we accessed a runtime variable and make a condition based on this runtime variable. So that's how to use conditioning in runtime. That is a runtime condition, but the above here is substituted in the compile time. That is the compile time condition. We can't use here a runtime variables because it is a compile time conditions. And here in this script, I am making this job to fail using this script. This script will give error because I am writing exit here. But in the other script here, I'm making a condition which is always. Always condition means that this script will run even if the previous script fails. So even if this previous script give an error and fails, this script will run because we're giving it a condition always. So let's try and run this pipeline and see what happens. I have made the pipeline with if and else conditions with 3 scripts, but only the else script is which runs because that is the condition that succeeded. So only one script runs from the 3 scripts because that is what is substituted because the condition is true for the else. And here I made an exit. So even the first stage fails, the second stage runs. Here the second stage run, even the first stage fails. That is because the condition that we give it for the stage. And here we set an output variable, and the other job runs because the output variable, we access the output variable, and the function returns true. So the second job runs. And here the last step is executed even the previous script fails because of the condition which is always that we give for this script. So it works even when the previous script fails. So that's all for this lecture. We have learned the difference between compile time conditions and the runtime conditions. I hope you enjoy it and see you in the next lecture.